would like to welcome you all for our daily class with Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj's daily online class. Thank you all for joining. A very warm welcome to you all. My humble obeisances to you. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So today's class will be given by Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. My humble obeisances to you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare
We'll
Krishna.
continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto. Mataji, would you like to share or do you want me to share?
If possible, I would like to share.
That's fine.
Maybe I will share also some other verses, but let's
That's
see.
okay. That's
Today will
fine.
be more spontaneous.
Thank you.
Okay. It says I'm not able to share.
I have to, yes. Okay, you should be able to do it now, Mataji.
Oh, okay. Now I can do it. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Our glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, we will continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, 7th chapter, verse number 36. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kalena milita diyam avam rishyandrinam stokayusham svanigamo batadura para avirhitas vanu yugam sahisatya vedadrumam vitapasho vibhajishyati sma. Srila Prabhupada's translation. The Lord himself, in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic. He will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Herein, Brahma mentions the future compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam for the short-lived persons of the Kali age. As explained in the first canto, the less intelligent persons of the age of Kali would be not only short-lived, but also perplexed with so many problems of life due to the awkward situation of the godless human society. Advancement of material comforts of the body is activity in the mode of ignorance, according to the laws of material nature. Real advancement of knowledge means progress of knowledge in self-realization. But in the age of Kali, the less intelligent man mistakenly considered the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years, to be all in all. They are less intelligent because they have no information of the eternity of life. They identify with the temporarily material body existing for 40 years and consider it the only basic principle of life. Such persons are described as equal to the asses and the bulls. But the Lord, as the compassionate Father of all living beings, imparts unto them the vast Vedic knowledge in short treatises like the Bhagavad Gita, and for the graduates, the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Puranas and the Mahabharata are also similarly made by Vyasadeva for the different types of men in the modes of material nature. But none of them are independent of the Vedic principles. Om Gyánati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Hena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami Niti Namine. So, again, the verse. The Lord himself, in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. So, dear devotees, these verses continue about the different avatars of Krishna, different incarnations. And in this verse, we are speaking of Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva. Of course, for us, he's most famous of being the writer of Srimad Bhagavatam, but he's the literary incarnation. He had so many writings, and all his life was dedicated for such a long time to write different spiritual literature for the people, and from different perspectives. I will elaborate a little bit on this, but I thought that I would speak a little bit about the person, because he also had some certain roles in history, and then about all the literatures he wrote, then a little bit describing more elaborately the Srimad Bhagavatam, and just concluding a little bit with why it's so important and prominent and relevant for our lives. Because here in the verse we heard much about the people of Kali Yuga, and this is our general mantra when something goes wrong, that yeah, this is the Kali Yuga. So we obviously can very much how to say, feel relevant Kali Yuga for ourselves. But as I understand, still not enough. So when things going good and I would say comfortable and enjoyable, then this Kali Yuga mantra is not so prominent. So anyway, let's speak about Srila Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva doesn't refer to only one person, because in each manvantara, in each yuga cycle, there is one Vyasadeva, and different personalities fill this role of Vyasadeva. In some researches, I found that in the Vayu Purana, it's described, listed which personalities filled this role in each yuga cycle, and our yuga cycle is the 28th, and it's special now. The personality who is called Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, he fills this role of Vyasadeva, and he is described as Vishnu's incarnation. Of course, Vyasadeva is always an incarnation, but many times he's a Shaktyavesha, an empowered incarnation. But also here we read about him being the incarnation of Krishna, listed among so many other incarnations. So I would share a verse after all, because I very much liked this one. In the 12th canto, chapter 6, verses 48 and 49, very nicely speak about how this happened. This O Brahmana, in the present age of Vaivasvata Manu, the leaders of the universe, led by Brahma and Shiva, requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the protector of all the worlds, to save the principles of religion. O most fortunate Shonaka, the Almighty Lord, exhibiting a divine spark of a portion of his plenary portion, then appeared in the womb of Satyavati as the son of Parashara. In this form, named Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, he divided the one Veda into four. So here it's nicely described how the certain demigods requested the Lord to come, because the principles of religion need some shelter in this fallen age. And even if we speak about Vyasadeva's names, he has not, generally we used to say Vyasadeva, but Vyasa means compiler. So this name refers to that he is the compiler of the Srimad Bhagavatam, of so many Vedic literature. Also, he's also called Krishna. Here it's Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Krishna refers to that he has a dark complexion. Dvaipayana, this refers to his birth, that he was born on an island. And there are other names like Satyavati Sutta, Satyavateya, which refers to that Satyavati is his mother, and Parasharya, Parasharatmaja. So these refer to Parashara Muni being his father. He also has a name Badarayana, and Vedavyasa means that he is the splitter of the Vedas. So his incarnation, the role of this incarnation was to teach the Vedic wisdom to people. And he belongs to the Brahma Sampradaya, and we know from the Srimad Bhagavatam that Narada Muni is his spiritual master, so he's a direct disciple of Narada Muni. And he also had some famous disciples, because, for example, Vaishampayana Muni, Shukadev Goswami, who was also his son, and for example, Sanjaya, who was speaking the Bhagavad Gita, I mean, narrating to Dhritarashtra what he saw on the battlefield. So they were all his disciples, and he had many others, so not just them. And he was born in the beginning of the Dvapara Yuga, and as I mentioned, his parents are Parashara Muni and Satyavati. Satyavati was the daughter of a fisherman who later became the wife of Maharaj Shantanu. But at this time, she was not his wife yet, and met Parashara Muni, and she helped him to get through from one side of the river to another side. And Parashara Muni felt some passion and attraction towards this beautiful lady, and their union happened, and the result was the birth of Vyasadeva. And his son became later on Shukadev Goswami, who is the main narrator in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his father, and he narrated to Parikshit Maharaj. And we know that Sutta Goswami was also present in the assembly, and later on he narrated this everything which he heard to the sages of Naimisharanya. And according to the scriptures, Vyasadeva still lives somewhere. Some say that after he wrote all the Vedic literature, some say he's wandering in the Himalayas. Some say that he lives in the Dandaka forest. Anyway, he's there somewhere in the material world. And one occasion which we heard about is that Madhvacharya, who lived something like 4,000 years after the disappearance from, I mean, not that, but after Vyasadeva disappeared from the public eye, I would say. So Madhvacharya lived thousands of years later, but he had a strong desire that he wanted Srila Vyasadeva to be his spiritual master. And so Vyasadeva came to him. And it's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in one of the purports, in one narration of, I mean, listing of disciplic succession, it's mentioned that Madhvacharya is his disciple. So he's still wandering somewhere. And about his works, so he had a great desire and this very strong focus how to give people transcendental knowledge in such a way that their lives can change, and how people can get closer to Krishna, understand what kind of process can help them in this. And he was a very productive writer. So there were the Vedas, but as Kali Yuga approached, Srila Vyasadeva understood that people's memory and intelligence becomes more and more limited. So he splitted the Vedas into four for the people of Kali Yuga, and each Veda was given to one of his disciples. And also there was a fifth one, not just the fourth. The fifth one was these Puranas and Itihasas. They were called the fifth Veda. So five of his disciples carried on with these parts of knowledge, and they also commented, and they also separated them and gave to their disciples. And so because with all these commentaries, it became a bigger, so very huge amount of knowledge again. And so so they've started to think about it. Oh, okay, what should we do? Because something, this will again be difficult for the people. So what he did was oh, sorry, I wanted to elaborate a little bit more the Purana part before going forward. So as I mentioned, he also wrote the Puranas and the Itihasas. Puranas are, it means that they contain the same message, the same essence, but in the form of stories. So because there were women, there were Shudras who had more difficulty in understanding philosophical descriptions. So Vyasadeva also wanted to have them who are not so much the scholarly type, not the Brahmanas and others. So he wrote the Puranas, and also these itihasas mean that historical narrations. Historical narration is like the Mahabharata, which tells the story of the Battle of Kurukshetra and all the events which led to this huge battle. And obviously, we also recognize in ourselves that it's very attractive for everyone listening to stories. So it was helpful for these people who were not so much the philosophical type. And even amongst the Puranas, there are many Puranas, but there are 18 which are the main Puranas. And they fall into three categories because each six of them, these groups, there is a main mode of nature, like mode of ignorance is prominent, mode of passion or mode of goodness. So those people who fall into these three categories, like affecting mainly the tamaguna, the mode of ignorance, then that group of Puranas are especially for them because they can relate to those stories, and by hearing them continuously, these stories and the message behind them can uplift them to the next level. So they can gradually elevate towards the mode of goodness. So then they are more easily they will more easily accept the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all the process which is supportive to approach him. So he wrote all these literatures, but he thought that okay, it's so complicated, it's against so much, and how people will understand this. So he thought that okay, I will make a shorter version which contains only the essence. So that's how he wrote the Vedanta Sutras, also called Brahma Sutra, Badarayana Sutra, which meant that there were in short sutra-like forms, contained the main messages of the whole Vedic literature. So this, even the name, this Vedanta, Veda Anta, it refers that this is the conclusion, the essence of all the Vedas. And these were very short verses, sutras. And but because it was so short, when it's already so short that it's like it's coded. So it was again a bit difficult to understand it. So we can see that even so far, he did so much endeavor from so many different angles and aspects, trying to approach this topic, how he can reach the people with this message, this amazing message. And still he wasn't satisfied. He felt like something is missing. And after he also wrote the Mahabharata after the Kurukshetra war, and still felt this satisfaction. Then Narada Muni, his spiritual master, came to him. About the Mahabharata, I would say that the version which we have is not from Srila Vyasadeva. Mahabharata had different versions, and the essence, the message, the story is the same, but different narrators had different mood. So according to their own inner mood, they emphasized certain things from the Mahabharata. The version which we have is from Vaishampayana Muni, who, as I mentioned, is one of Srila Vyasadeva's disciples. So Narada Muni came, and after receiving him properly as someone receives a spiritual master, Srila Vyasadeva started to reveal his mind, his dilemma, how to solve this situation. That he wrote so many things, so many literature, and still he's not satisfied, and there is something wrong. And his guess was that maybe I didn't emphasize so much the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Narada Muni, just as a spiritual master, as a bona fide spiritual master, was right onto the point that he showed that whatever Vyasadeva wrote so far is misleading for the people. So, because he said that so far you emphasized the four purusharthas, artha, kama, dharma, and moksha. And this is misleading for the people because they just get engaged in these different rituals, and they won't progress towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead because it's so easy to fall into the illusion of Maya Devi. And he said that you should emphasize the spiritual, the pure spiritual facts and truths, and give this to the people in one book. You don't have to write so many books, but this has to be the very, very clear message, the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Narada Muni left, and then Srila Vyasadeva started his meditation, and it's very interesting. Let me look for the verse. Just a moment. Yes, so this verse is about what happened after Narada Muni left. Thus, he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control. So the reason I wanted to share this, because in one class I've heard how important it is that Vyasadeva saw the absolute personality of Godhead. So it means that he didn't. Sometimes we say that he's the writer of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but this is not entirely true because Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal. So it existed even before, and there were different narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam even before Srila Vyasadeva wrote it down. But what happened was that Vyasadeva was in Samadhi, and he saw in this state the contents of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he wrote it down. So sometimes that's why he's not referred to as the writer, but the compiler of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but it's a little bit similar, like, we say that Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are Krishna's parents, but, Krishna is never born in reality. And similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is never written or born, but still accepts a writer or a compiler, as Krishna accepts mother and father. Although, as I mentioned, Srila Vyasadeva is different personality from Manvantara, and from Yuga cycle to Yuga cycle, but I very much liked this how parallel it's a little bit similar, these two things. So sorry. So as I mentioned, there were different narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I will share it to you. Just so I hope you can see something of this. Maybe this will be a little bit better. So I don't want to go into the details, but I wanted to show the list that we generally refer to these three narrations, like how Vyasadeva taught his son, Shukadev Goswami, how Shukadev Goswami told it to Parikshit Maharaj, how Sutta Goswami told it to the sages of Naimisharanya. But here it's mentioned that, for example, Narada Muni also told to Vyasadeva, but Narada Muni also heard from his father, from Brahma, and Brahma heard from Narayan. Narayan also told to Shiva. There is another story when Shiva told to Parvati. That's when Shukadev Goswami, as a Radharani's parrot, present there, how she heard it, how he heard it. But there is also Vishnu telling it to Lakshmi, Uddhava to the queens of Dwaraka. It's in the Skanda Purana, and the in Padma Purana there is another glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Gokarna to Tundukari, the Kumaras to Narada. So there are so many narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and many of these happened even before it was written down. So Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal, and just as Krishna manifests by his sweet will in the material world, similarly Srimad Bhagavatam also manifests according to its will for us. And yes, there is another interesting thing, that Srimad Bhagavatam is not a certain series of verses, although in the definition of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's there in some of the Puranas, it said that how many verses there are in Srimad Bhagavatam. But we also heard about it, that how here on the earth, there are not as many verses. For example, in the heavenly planets, there are much, much more verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, for example, in Sanatan Goswami wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, but the story is that after Parikshit Maharaj heard all the Bhagavatam, his mother Uttara came and asked him to tell her whatever he had heard. And just imagine that you were listening for 7 days, and death can come at any time, and now you have to tell whatever you have heard. So it was a very limited time, and in a different story, he told the same message in the form of Brihad Bhagavatamrita to his mother. So we may think that, oh, they have so many more verses on the heavenly planets. It would be nice to know all of those, but there is also something special for us, because we have a version, a very, very special version of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which has the commentaries of Srila Prabhupada. And this is an even sweeter version, because a very, very special pure devotee of Krishna ornamented the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam with his own realizations, and that's what we got. So also some personal messages from Srila Prabhupada to us. And I would like to conclude how it's relevant for us, because sometimes it's even connecting to Srila Prabhupada is not easy, although he left the world just some 40 to 50 years ago, and we have videos, photos of him, and his direct words and whatever. But connecting to Srila Vyasadeva is even more difficult. But it's important for us to cultivate this gratitude to him, because, as I mentioned, his whole life till he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam was dedicated for us, because he made so much endeavor in how he can shape, in what kind of form he can give this transcendental knowledge to us in a way that it will change our hearts, that it will just click on the switch, and we realize that, oh, I want to surrender to Krishna, and I want to go back to him. I want to be with him. That was his goal, and he was constantly meditating on how I could give this knowledge to these people that they understand. And it's just really amazing that someone had this sole purpose, that how he can save us. Because although sometimes we don't understand that we need to be saved, but this is very true. Obviously, when there is sickness, when we have some financial problems, personal conflicts, then we understand that we need to be saved. We need guidance. But when things are going good and enjoyable, and just we feel like we are in control, then we don't have this strong conviction that I need shelter. So, but we need, especially when everything seems to go nicely, because then it's when we are in illusion. And even material world is a place of suffering. There is, not just in Kali Yuga, in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, it's always a place of suffering. We shouldn't have any illusion about it. It's not like, okay, so in Satya Yuga it's nice here, and at the end of Satya Yuga I will go back to Godhead. No, it's not like that. Material world is always a place of suffering. And in it's always difficult to to focus on spiritual life. But in Kali Yuga, it's even more difficult, because the tendencies, like, like when the weather around you is not supportive. So there are such tendencies which push you, all of us, into certain directions, more and more away from Krishna. We have bad memories. Our intelligence is just terrible. We continuously arguing, committing offenses towards each other. Sometimes Vaishnavas, sometimes not Vaishnavas. Everyone is Shudra and even below that. So what can be our qualification, and what hope do we have without such guidance, like the Srimad Bhagavatam? And it is said, I will quote this first because this is so nice. This is my favorite. No, this is not the one. Okay, such favorite verse. So it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is like the sun, and its brilliance will no, okay, I won't find it now. Oh, okay, I mixed up the numbers, sorry. So this Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. So it's very interesting. It's important to know that sometimes we think that we are following the rules and regulations of religion, but religion accompanied Krishna back to the spiritual world, also with knowledge. So even if we think that we are so knowledgeable, knowledge accompanied Krishna back to the spiritual world. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So we got this light, the light of hope, from Srila Vyasadeva, and it's always nice to remember this gratitude, expressing this gratitude, expressing this respect, because by cultivating these emotions and their expressions, we can get the mercy of these personalities. Yes, we can get the mercy of our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, but we can get mercy and blessings from all the others, other acharyas in the parampara, including Srila Vyasadeva. We can get his mercy, we can get his blessings, so we can understand his writings, because that's the point. It's not, sometimes we think that it's some kind of achievement to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, and because we have difficulty even in that, but to understand whatever we read, that's another step. We think that we understand because we understand the words, but that's not enough. If we properly understand the words, then it means that we understand that we need shelter and how to seek this shelter. So if we properly understand, it means that there will be a change in our lifestyle, in our processes, and in the end, it will bring a change of heart, and that is the goal. But we need to do the step-by-step process till there. And Srila Vyasadeva, with this amazing writing, gave such a huge support to us. So let's continue to pray for his blessings and mercy for our proper understanding. So this is what I wanted to share, and I think we can open up for discussions.
Thank you, Mataji. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'd like to welcome and encourage any questions, comments, realization that you have. It would be good if you can turn on your cameras so we can make it a bit more personal and interactive. You can ask your question by raising your hand, or you can post your question in the chat window, and I can relay that question on your behalf if you're unable to do so. Thank you. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Krishna, thank you very much for giving the class. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to you. You were talking about sometimes we read verses or a verse or a purport, and we think we understand, but we don't really understand. How do we know if we have actually understood any verse or any commentary?
It's a very interesting question. One aspect is that that understanding is a gradual process. So it's always possible to get some more understanding. So it's not like okay, now I reached the goal and now I'm done, and okay, I can move to the next verse, because if the next day I read the same verse, then I will get something new. So this is one aspect. But I would say that each verse has some message how we can change our lives. And if we can find something which will bring some change, what can I change in order to get closer to Krishna, then it reached its purpose. Obviously, it should be a beneficial change. So not all the changes, because sometimes it happened to me that I read some verse or purport and yeah, this is how that devotee should have behaved. When I felt offended, and if this is the change that okay, I was right, then this is not such a beneficial change. But I think you understand what I think of here. So if it supports that our life changes a little bit, like going closer to Krishna, doing more endeavor, or surrendering more to him, or surrendering more to the Guru, or brings more faith in the words of the Guru, or these kinds of things. If something comes, then it means that it is a sign that we understood properly. But also, Guru Maharaj used to say that there are 4 ways of how to understand properly, and actually the 4th one was the result. that it meant that if we heard properly, it will bring either questions or realizations. So that's also a good sign that if there are questions, that means that there is something there and we heard properly. And if realizations come, then it means also that something was there, some good understanding.
Thank you. We should always get some instruction or direction from it. So if we haven't got that, then we need to read more or try and get clarification.
I mean, Guru Maharaj had this seminar about reading, and he said that the stages of understanding is that first we hear, then we understand, and then we apply, and then realizations come, and then qualities, newer beneficial qualities will be developed. And whatever I said was that, if there is some change inspired you, it means that from understanding you move towards the understanding. No, not the application, sorry. So if there is some kind of inspiration comes, it means that you will go to the next stage and apply whatever you have heard. If you have questions, it means that you go back to the hearing part, but it's not a bad thing that I go back, because it means that I clarify something, and it means that I will understand something, because I will get the clarification as long as I don't understand it, and then it means that there will be understanding. And if realizations come, that means that we went to the stage after application, which is there. So either I go back to properly clarify or make some step in that sequence.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the question. You really made me think, because these practical points are for me the most interesting, because after all, Vigyan is the goal. So whenever it's possible to connect theory and practice, it's always nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions?
Sorry, Mataji, I was speaking to mute. I was. Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. I was wondering if you knew whether we need to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. This might be a controversial question. Do we need to read the Srimad Bhagavatam to go back home, back to Godhead? Is it essential? Can we? Obviously, it's in our best interest to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should want to, but do we have to? Can you chant Hare Krishna and not have read the Srimad Bhagavatam, or do devotional service and not have read it? Do you know how it's considered in our process?
Very interesting questions today. Thank you so much. Well, the goal is, especially in this age, we know that the Yuga Dharma is chanting the Hare Krishna. So this is what we need to learn. And if it's realized properly, it means that we understood the main conclusion of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But another point is, it's not enough to just give our time and just say the words of the Hare Krishna mantra, because it doesn't necessarily mean that we chant it properly. And whatever fills our day will be there in our chanting. I've heard once one very nice metaphor about it, that imagine that your mind is like a white horse, and all day you let this horse just run wherever he wants to run, and during those 2 hours you would like to restrain it to behave properly. But if you let it do whatever it wants throughout the whole day, then it will do just the same in those 2 hours. And also, when we hear transcendental topics, it means several things. So one thing is that we understand what is the meaning, and but there are also other points why to do it. Another point is that it helps us remember, because whatever we hear throughout the day, that is what we will remember. And if we think of it like that, still 1 hour of reading seems little, too little. And but you know, if we hear this about these topics, then it will support that throughout the day we can remember this, and oh, what it meant, this verse, and how can I connect it with other things, other verses maybe, or how can I connect it with my life. Like, I read this verse in the morning, and now such and such things happened to me, and how can I connect these? So, for example, if in the morning we read about Vaishnava Parad and have some difficulty with the Vaishnava during the day, then we have a strong chance that during that situation, we will remember what that verse said about Vaishnava Parad. Or if we read about humility and get into such situation when it's relevant, then it may support that we will remember how to behave properly. And also, as I mentioned, if we read these books, there are Srila Prabhupada's commentaries. So we can also be in contact and develop a relationship with him. Because relationship with a personality can come in 2 ways. One way is hearing, and the other is serving. And this way we can also get blessings from Srila Prabhupada. Blessings, as I mentioned, also from Srila Vyasadeva. And this is another very important point, that in our spiritual lives, it's so important to get blessings. We should actually beg for blessings, because in ourselves we are in such a hopeless situation. And Krishna many times said that it's not those are his devotees who say that they are his devotees, but those who say that I am Krishna's devotees, maybe not devotees, servants. So I'm the servant of, I'm not Krishna's servant, but I'm the servant of his servants. And this is how this process works, because someone has to suggest us to Krishna that this is a nice devotee, please accept him. And one such strong way for this is hearing. And if it's Srimad Bhagavatam or not, that's a good question, because I think it's also connected to your question. If, for example, reading Bhagavad Gita or reading Krishna book or reading Chaitanya Charitamrita is also good. That's a good question also, because Srimad Bhagavatam is this is special because this is very much to the point. You know, there are no no glorifications of Lord Shiva, of astrology or Vedic rituals and yagyas. So there is no glorification of those processes which are not helpful in a very direct way approaching Krishna. And for example, Bhagavad Gita is also very good because it contains the basic philosophy, and it contains bhakti, But well, Srila Prabhupada said that that is the elementary school, and the higher level is Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is even higher. So based on these, I would say that this is necessary, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the scripture where all the knowledge and religion took shelter in the material world now during Kali Yuga. So yeah, this is what I know about this. And just to summarize, so I would say that both, I mean, all understanding, remembering, mercy, this is all there. And if we want to neglect it for some reason, but I also understand that it's not easy for many people to read. There are those who very much into books, and there are others who have difficulties with reading, and that's also there. I don't know if I should go that way or not, because I already spoke so much. If this answered your question, or would you also like to hear about those topics? Because now I just started to wander.
Yeah, that was a great answer. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm more than happy to hear more if the other devotees are happy.
Okay, if there are...
Haribol. Any other devotees would like to share? It's an important point. I think nice topic. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hey,
Uh,
Hare Krishna, may I please?
Yes,
I cannot
Mataji.
switch on now
Please
my
go ahead.
video. I just wanted to add only, if possible.
Yes, please,
Yes,
Mataji. Go
yes.
ahead.
One time, Okayona, or how her name, asked Srila Prabhupada, there is an interview, maybe you have heard definitely about it. She was asking if Mahamantra, it has already in it everything. Then Srila Prabhupada said, yes, it has already, it's fulfilled, that's it. You don't need anything else to achieve success. Then she asked, then why so many books, and why do we need to read these books? Which Srila Prabhupada said that in order to understand and properly to chant Mahamantra, this is why you need to read these books. That was the main point. And also in all his books, Srila Prabhupada are showing the traps of Maya, where the consciousness can drag, so to say, I mean, going down, takes away from Krishna, the consciousness, that only. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. That was very, very nice point also, because it's not just we need to gradually improve ourselves, but we also need to notice what are the those things which are dangerous to our devotion. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bala Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for a wonderful class. I always look forward to your classes and catch them fully. There's always nuggets in there. It was great to hear about the history, I guess, of Ved Vyas ji and how much we owe him, because he was constantly thinking about us, I guess, right? I mean, he was constantly thinking about the future. He's talking about all devotees everywhere. My God, I'm sorry. I was on a plane. I'm operating on very little sleep. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. My God. And all glories to Vaishnavas. Yeah, yes. So continuing my question. Yeah, so it's one of them. It's also a cautionary tale that a personality so glorious could be slightly deluded, right? I mean, he tried various things before he got to hello, Krishna. And so there's a cautionary tale there. And I just also wanted to say earlier, when John Prabhu was asking you some question you wanted to continue, please do that. I said Hari Bol to say, go ahead. That was my intent. Yeah. Yeah. So here, when our temple president or anybody giving a lecture will say, do you want me to continue? We all say Hari Bol, and then that means continue. So if you have any thoughts there, please share, Mataji.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much for the
Yeah.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, I think, because sometimes we think that there are those devotees who have this nature of a brahmana, meaning that they are the scholarly types, and they should read and learn, and there are all the others who just do the how to say, the practical services, and that's like that, and there are actually several quotes from Srila Prabhupada stating how much he expects a devotee to read. And it was like 1 or 2 hours a day. But there was even one quote which I found where it was stated even 3, but including listening to classes. So it was very obvious that Srila Prabhupada expected us to read, regardless of if we are scholarly or not. But obviously it's more difficult. Some people it's easy, for some people it's difficult, and I know that I had some disagreements with some devotees who said that yes, there are those who have difficulties with reading and they should just force themselves to do it, and I was like, what? because I mean I know that it's there that for some people it's difficult, but there is a limit how much difficulty one's mind can accept. And if we go till that limit, it means that we just stretch the limits of the mind, and we do whatever is beneficial. But if we go through that limit, that means that we won't be able to keep doing it. And that's why it's so important to somehow, if we have the intelligence and the mind is responsible for, oh, I don't like reading, it's too late, and it's so difficult to focus after such a long day. But there is the intelligence, and we know that the intelligence is superior to the mind, so the intelligence should control the mind in doing it. But the fact that the intelligence is higher than the mind, it means that it can control in different ways. So it doesn't necessarily mean that intelligence just forces the mind that, okay, you have to do it. I know that it feels terrible, but just continue doing it, and that's it. Because we see, for example, in this disciples meeting, Guru Maharaj had this topic of the Manashiksha. And in Manashiksha, we see that there is a pleading to the mind, begging, oh, please, dear friend, do this and do that. And it's not like, mind, you are my I am the boss, and you are the servant, and you just follow whatever I do.
Yeah.
But because there is a way of controlling the mind that we try to make the process more easier, or just somehow change the mind because the mind accepts and rejects, and we can somehow support the mind in this decision making, what is acceptable and what is rejectable. And for example, we can try to do some tricks. how to make reading more acceptable for the mind. For example, we can change what we read, because yes, if Srimad Bhagavatam is not so attractive, then okay, then read Krishna book, or read Bhagavad Gita, or read Nectar of Devotion, or there are some other books. And the main point is just hearing transcendental topics. In Aryatra, for example, it was also a topic that, everywhere there are devotees who have difficulties with their schedule throughout the day, all the time. And there was another suggestion that okay, if you cannot read, then listen to classes.
Yes.
That's another thing. Obviously not the same, because let's not forget that in classes we hear from some kind of devotees, but when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, then we are associating with him, his words, and that's something else. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other, because if we select one verse and go deep into that, and I don't know, a newly initiated devotee gives class, even then there can be something to learn. So it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm not listening to Srila Prabhupada, then it's not good. Good. So because also one thing which it's nice that it came up, that the representative of Srila Vyasadevi for us is the Vyasasana, and whoever sits on the
Yes.
Vyasasana
Yes.
gets the empowerment.
Mhm.
So it's, if we are a good listener, then even for from a very young devotee, we can get some kind of something to think about, some kind of realization, and something to chew on the day throughout the day. So this is also something which we can try. It also happened to me that I listened to some class, and someone spoke about, okay, we can speak about the concrete things. So the devotee spoke about Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma. And it was so inspiring that I was thinking, oh, I want to read that. So we can also get some inspiration like this for reading. But if there is another way that it is said, if you don't have taste for something, what can you do? Connect with those who have taste.
Mhm.
And it's also possible that that we look for someone who likes to read and has some interesting thoughts, and read together, or being a part of a reading group. So it's nice to think about, use the intelligence in this way, that okay, it's not so attractive for me right now, but what can I do to make it more attractive for the mind? Because it's not like the goal is not sense gratification and the mind for enjoyment. The goal is that whatever I can do in a material sense to make it more acceptable for the mind, then the mind will more likely do it. And when I do it, it will be purification. And it means that gradually there will be taste. Because there is also one very interesting thing, that when we force the mind to do things, and I mean control, not the force, not necessarily the bad way, but when we control the mind, and even if reading is not so attractive, but still we are doing it, it means that we are steady, we are on a level of nishta. But ruchi comes after nishta. So if we prove to Krishna that, okay, Krishna, it's not so easy now, but I'm still trying whatever I can do to hear about you, then Krishna will gradually send the taste. So nishta, being steady, is always there before this stage of ruchi. But it doesn't mean that there cannot be some kind of taste even before that, because one kind of material taste is when someone is this scholarly type and just likes to read. But another type of taste is when, for example, when we are doing it together with someone who has the taste. It's mentioned that there is some kind of like shadow taste when we attend to a kirtan and we feel that, oh, it's so ecstatic, but why we feel this spiritual ecstasy? Because there is a pure soul there, and we can get something from his ecstasy.
Association, yeah.
Yes. So association has such power, and you know, when you have some memories, some kind of samskars about, oh yeah, when I read together with such and such devotee, and it was so nice, then it will create some kind of samskar in the mind, and next time it will be a little bit easier to choose reading. Maybe again together with the same person, but somehow this is such way which we can use to train the mind to see that it can be a nice and tasteful process. Yeah.
Thank you,
But if
Mataji.
if anyone has anything to add, please say so, because it's very interesting topic, I think.
Mataji, sorry, I don't please, I'm extremely sorry. I have to drop off. So, is it okay? Please continue the discussions. I will pass to you the host rights. Would that be okay, Mataji? I'm sorry to, but I have
Okay,
to.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for
No,
keeping
no,
you
no,
for.
no. This is interesting. I don't want to kind of, because this is where you churn the nectar and
Okay.
things comes out. So,
Okay.
okay, Mataji, I'll pass on the host rights to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting so far. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Trupti Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Can
Krishna.
can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, my humble pranam to you. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and to all Vaishnavas. Yes, very, very, very much interesting. All the questions were in my mind. All the other devotees have asked and been answered almost already. So done my hard work already by other devotees. So that is the benefits of association. So you get all the benefits. Yes, and yes, I totally agree about what you said, that if we don't have an interest, develop the taste of reading, then associate with people with devotees who are interested in reading, and that is what I am doing. Do like to read, but Srimad Bhagavatam is very hard book to read. And when I'm reading it, I feel like, oh, I understand everything, because from my very young age, from coming from India, I heard a lot of the scriptures from my grandparents and been to kathas and everything. So we know the main pastimes and everything. So when I'm reading it, and I say, oh yes, I know, and but afterwards I don't remember anything. So that is my problem. But I associate with devotees who reads and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, and in our Friday Sanghas also we discuss each chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and so each devotee talks about it up from their understanding and summaries and everything. Yes, and as you said as well, that on to understand, the Mataji said that to understand more, and to go to Godhead, is only chanting will not help. Chanting is everything, but still it isn't. You need to understand it, and that is the only way that you develop some interest in reading the scriptures. That's my just my 2 pence worth that I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Your brilliant class, and all the devotees have added so much amazing intelligence, poured it in, so we got benefit of it. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your comment. Actually, you reminded me to a few things which I forgot about this understanding and taste process, because it's You know, in the Western world, we are used to this process that when we have a problem, we localize the problem, and within those limits we did, we try to solve the problem. But usually it's not only there that has to be solved, but it's a broader thing. And why I say this here in connection to hearing, we think that when we have a problem with either taste for hearing or for understanding, it means that the problem is only for hearing, or we can only solve it with hearing. But in spiritual life, the interesting is that everything is connected. So hearing is connected with chanting, hearing is connected with prayers, hearing is connected with serving and all the other parts of our spiritual life. And hearing is connected, for example, with the modes of nature, because if we make mode of goodness more prominent in our lives, it means that we more cultivate the path of knowledge. So everything is interconnected, and if we do some improvement in some way, then it will affect all the other things. So, for example, in Shikshashtakam, verse the first verse, it's mentioned that it's the, I think the metaphor is like the bride and groom. That is the connection between knowledge and the holy name, which means that it's one aspect that knowledge supports chanting the holy name, but chanting the holy name supports understanding. And also, if we serve, it will also support our understanding, and it will also give desire for hearing. And I think it's important to understand these things, because if we understand these, then we know where to seek blessings and mercy, which will support our desire for hearing. So that's another way, another method what we can do if we don't have taste for hearing, because we can always pray for it. And it's a spiritual desire. Oh, my dear Lord, I want to hear more about you, but somehow my wicked mind doesn't want it, want to hear. Please give me the desire. Give me something how I can desire more to hear about you. And because hearing is not about being scholarly, memorizing so many verses. Hearing means that we want to understand Krishna more, and we want to understand how we can approach Krishna. And so this way, hearing is an alive process, and it means that it becomes part of a relationship with the Lord, and that is totally different. Like so hearing and understanding whatever we have heard means that we do it in the mode of surrender, that we just want to follow something which is beneficial. Surrender means also that we accept everything that is beneficial and reject everything that is not beneficial in our spiritual life. And in the mode of surrender, it means that I accept reading and I'm doing reading because this is beneficial for approaching Krishna, and it will please him. So we can also read in this mood that this Krishna will be happy that I want to read about him. And I think if we can remember this, then it also supports this desire for hearing. Yes, there were some some messages. Vrisha Prabhu. Vrisha Prabhu sent something, but unfortunately, just one moment. I try to download it. Yes, Sakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your class. So many points to think about and reflect on. My question is related to reflection and contemplation part after we read or hear something. So it is also important to reflect and give some time to meditate on what we have heard. So can you share
Yes.
some tips how we can improve that portion?
Contemplate and meditate whatever we heard about. Yeah, it's I'm not sure if I will find it now. I think Krishna Kshetra Goswami had some nice list about what I have it. Oh, I'm lucky today. Sorry, I'm just opening it. So okay, I can. This is the English version. It's translated by me because the original was in Hungarian, but I will share it. Hopefully, there won't be any problem with copyrights or something. Okay, so there are some suggestions on how to read and study Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can apply it to other scriptures too. So this is basically about how can we find something which triggers our contemplations. So how something is relevant, or find something which we can think about. So there are some so-called bells when you read something and something is ringing. Oh, you can think about this. So one thing is the connection bell. This verse part is just like another verse, or maybe the opposite, or it reminds me on another verse. Identify the verse and explain the connection. So this part refers to like when you already read something similar, and how the two are connected. Like one of the verses elaborates the other, or there are some apparent contradiction between them, or some kind of connection between the two, and that can be some feed for thought. Or the other one is the general picture bell. This verse or this part of what I read is interesting or thought-provoking, or has an important part in the general picture. Like for example, like this verse contains the main message of this chapter, or this is how it's important in the whole canto, or in the Bhagavatam. This is such an important message for such and such reason. So this is another bell. And the third one is own memory bell. Like this, I can connect it with something which happened to me. So when I met such and such devotee or another person, how this verse is connected to that event, or some kind of event which happened to me, or when I had such and such desire. And for example, I have a desire to I don't know, watch a certain movie in this movie theater. And then I read something in the scriptures, which is about the association of non-devotees. And then I realized, oh yeah, actually, when I watch this movie, it means that I'm associating non-devotees, because this movie is not about God. What this movie is for, it supports my sense gratification, maybe even has some non-ahimsa content or whatever. So then we can connect a certain desire with the scriptures and how the two relate to each other. Or this the big effect bell. It explains something very thoroughly to me, or I can relate to it very much. It inspires me to change, to grow, or gives ideas on how to do, how to say, how to explain something. So just to have some example about this, that's why I'm into this topic very much, because I do some research about hearing and how can we do it. And whenever I read something in the scriptures or I hear in a class, then this can be used in this and this chapter of my research. so I can connect the two. Or bell inspiring to write. This thought can be a seed of a blog post or poem or letter or essay. And this is also a very interesting thing, because lately I watched, there was a discussion, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Guru Maharaj had a discussion with Chaitanya Charan Prabhu about journaling. And they spoke so many nice things about how journaling is supportive in spiritual lives, and how even Srila Prabhupada encouraged us to write. And one thing was that which they mentioned, that when we write something down, it means that it will be more preserved in the memory. And I don't refer to that, okay, whenever I want to look it up, there will be a written section about it. But when we write it down, not typing on computer, but when we write, that also engraves it more strongly into the memory. And so writing is also very supportive in this process, both in understanding and in memory also. And this journal can be anything, like we can write down whatever happened to us throughout the day, but we can also write something that, like a reading diary. Like today I read one chapter from Srimad Bhagavatam, and I write down what was my favorite verse and why. This is also a type of journal. So it's also a possibility. So another point is the challenge bell. So something which agitates me, disturbs me, causes doubts. That is also a very interesting thing, because then we can think about it a lot. And if we do some endeavor in order to clarify it, then it will support further faith in the end. So action inspiring bell also. It inspires me to do something, to develop something, work on something, make an own commentary, or stop doing something, which I did so far, and it wasn't so supportive in spiritual life. And the last one is the research bell. So there is some kind of idea, and I would like to know more about it. An idea, a word, some kind of practice, and maybe I go into that direction, that I will study more about that. So I think these are very nice points in how to find something throughout hearing, reading, that can support further contemplation. And when there is further contemplation, it means that we want to connect it, put this fact, whatever I read now, put it into the bigger picture. Bigger picture can be like how it connects with other parts of the scriptures, how it connects to my life, my difficulties, my practices so far, or how I behave with others, and that can be some kind of food for thought. So I don't know if it was helpful. This was what came in my mind so far.
Yes. Yes, Mataji, it was really very helpful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I really like that journaling part. I have heard from many devotees that we should write it down. And previously also, I have asked one question and you have shared your views on writing those things which we have experienced.
Yeah.
So that really helps us to reflect back and think of our experiences, and that helps us give faith in the process. So sometimes I do journaling, and that is really supportive. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you for the question and for your experiences. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do everything which is supportive, but at least whatever we can try and fit into our schedule. That's those are very, very helpful things. And writing is also, or some other devotees like to discuss with others, or whatever. We are different personalities, and everyone is inspired by different things. But if there is some kind of inspiration, just fan the spark, and it will bring something beautiful and something really spiritual and enlivening. So I don't know if there are any more questions. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to open Visha Prabhu's this picture, although it was answering something. And yeah, there are no other questions in the chat. So if there are no other questions, then we may end this call. Okay. So thank you so much for attending and for your amazing questions, thought-provoking questions. You always make me think and go deeper, and it's really nice, because for me this is such a nice illustration that how Devotees Association helps to churn more and more. Yes, Vrajachanapriya, Radha, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Radha Vinodini, for this class, for the association. Thank you, all the devotees over here. My humble obeisances. The thing is just to thank you and to say that it was very useful for me. All the class and the questions of the devotees today. Your answerings very clarifying. The 4 ways to understand, that sequence you gave, and from the first part of the class, it was very sweet for me to hear from you that we are so fortunate to have the Vedic literature with the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. It was very sweet. Not only something, you see, right. You were right, of course, but it was very sweet, very sweet. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the encouragement, and it's so nice to meet you again online, even personally. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila
Thank
Prabhupada.
you. So then, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Radha Vinodini Dasi Mataji ki jai.
Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
All Vaishnava devotees ki jai. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for
Hare
attending.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. It was very useful.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Oh,
Have a lovely day.